I was really kind of looking for something that wasn't enveloped in this world of either school, or I didn't want to play somebody's, son. I didn't want to play like a student or anything. I was really looking for a more challenging kind of an adult role to say. And, growing up, I played sports. I love playing sports. The fact that this is kind of a sports movie, but it's also just it's a human story, and it's an incredible, true story about probably, one of the greatest comebacks ever. Forget sports, I mean, just in general, to be able to come back from the kind of injury that Vinny did and to be able to, bring this story to life really was a huge honor. And when I met Ben, first for the project, I really didn't think I had any chance at getting it. I thought it was, I didn't, know that he would, I knew that I would be able to do it, but at the time when he cast me, I was really, a far ways away. I mean, I had to train and really do a lot of stuff for about 8 months to be able to get to this point. So, I'm just glad that Ben gave me the opportunity. But really, it's everything in a movie that I would want to, to do as an actor. Once I got into LA, or got back to LA, and I started working with Daryl, who's our fight coordinator. Guy's just really, incredible boxing trainer. And so I went from 188 pounds to 168 pounds. I got my body fat down to 6%. Because it's not just about going into the gym and looking jacked. Like, I didn't want to just have my shirt off and look cool or anything. Like, I really need to be able to do these boxing scenes because it is all day. I mean, the first boxing match in this movie, we filmed for 13 hours, and it was pretty much nonstop. So I was doing that. I was also doing, like an hour and a half of physical therapy to work on like a tight hip that I've had. And then I was also doing accent dialect training. So I would do 2 hours weights, hour and a half accent dialect training, hour and a half physical therapy, and then, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of boxing. I watched a ton of videos. I mean, YouTube is the best thing. I listened to a lot of radio interviews, which was good because I would just have them playing in the background for, a couple hours as I was looking up information. But yeah, and also it's great playing a real person because I don't have to invent all these characteristics and mannerisms. I can actually watch video of him and see the way he, does certain things, the way he kind of laughs and stuff. I can take that and I can incorporate that in my performance. And so it's been great. And Vinny's been the ideal person to make a movie about because he's just excited. He's not too precious with it. He doesn't, he basically just told me whenever I want him on set, he'll be there. And when I don't, he won't. And yeah, I was a little nervous doing him in front of him. At first, but at the same time, I really fell in love with the story, and I was excited to, to feel what it was like to be a, 27-year-old guy, boxer, champion Italian boxer in the 80s. Like, that's a cool guy to play. This movie for me had the most challenges of any movie that I've done. There's just a ton of stuff, man. There's that halo. Physically, the halo it hurt my head, and it was cumbersome, and I'd have to wear it all day. But also just imagining because it's such an absurd thing to relate to have this thing, drilled into your head, and to have that done. So that was a challenge. Anytime you're doing like an accent in front of people that are from there. I'm doing a Providence accent in front of, hair and makeup in the beginning of this shoot, or the producers, people that are from, Providence. That's a challenge. The boxing was a huge challenge because if you only have 2.5 weeks to do anything, I don't care if it's, batting a ball on a paddle, 2.5 weeks, you're not a professional in anything. So that was a really, challenge for me, just to be able to, because I'm not just playing a fighter. As Vinny would say, there's a million fighters. There's only there's only a couple of champions. There's a lot of dinner table scenes. That's where it all it's like the glue throughout the movie. We always come together for dinner, and it was like the first day, and I come into the kitchen. I just say, "Ma, did you watch the tapes yet?" She's like, "No, I can't watch the fights, Vinny." She's like, that, but it's out there. I said, "All right, I'm gonna go watch it." And then when I left the scene, they all just continued to talk, and they're just ad-libbing, but it sounded. Just reminded me of my house, it just sounded like a family talking, and everybody, Kieran and Katie and Amanda and Dan, and and Aaron, but really the family dynamic, everybody just kind of got along so well, and it's so nice to be a part of a cast where there are no egos.